atoke kwa booth. Interruption, hitilafu hapa. Sijui inatoka wapi. Ebo I think so. Mchapiki tu hapo iwisha. Nani alisema? Ilitoka wapi? Ulisikia wapi? Nani alisema?
Did you hear? Did you hear?
Karibuni sana. Welcome again to another edition of that show.
Good morning.
Relationship Mondays. Wewe ujipendaje? Unapendana ngaje?
How do you love
How do you love yourself? How much do you love yourself? How do you take care of yourself? Have you got your own back? Yaani mtu akisema kitu juu yako, wote protect wewe, protect best yako. Bas. Ama wewe nyamaza, unaacha kujitetea.
Lazima ujisimame. I am my corner.
Leo tumeingia tu tumetumbukia.
Na kona yangu ni kama sako, iko kila mahali. Zile za like boss. Niko hivi.
It's a dome.
Ati wewe wewe mama mimi unisikia wapi? Mimi ninavyojipenda.
How so very dare you? How so very dare you?
Yaani ulikaa tu chini ukakaa ukafikiria ukasema yani hivyo ndio vile umeona. Sasa acha nikwambie vile kuko. Mimi kama mimi
yes
najipenda.
Yes.
Kama ujipendi it's your own.
Guys, welcome again to another edition of this our show.
That show. This show.
Here at Galactic Productions with me, myself, and Night Atieno.
AfroFabb.
Karibuni sana.
On a Monday morning tunakuwa hapa
tunakuja tunatumbukia hapo.
Relationship Mondays tunaingia tunajibwaga. Saa 2 saa kama saa 8 tunaingia na dakika 3. Tena Wednesday tutakuja tukiongea relationships zingine lakini sana na wallet yako na
So we're here every Monday, Wednesday and Friday. On Monday we talk about relationships and these include relationships with ourselves.
Yourself and the others ni colleagues, children, relatives, your other person, ni wingman wako ama ni right hand person wako. Lakini vile umeiona ni mtu wako. So any relations that you have with any other person, with yourself or any other being. Sindio? It's important to we can't help but love each other or relate with each other.
We should love each other.
Hawezi kuwa peke yako. No one is an island. So as much as kila siku unakutana na mtu, unaona mtu mahali, Relationships are inevitable. Iwe ni wewe na mtu wa duka ama, lakini hata tuniache hiyo story.
Kusema tu kweli, mimi leo,
yes,
I'm feeling very happy.
Usineki ni happy.
I did some self-love this weekend.
You loved yourself.
Nilijipenda.
It's important. Nini ulifanya tofauti?
Nini nilifanya tofauti? I swear, when it reached Sunday, the rest of the world stopped existing. So Mokweli, you know, like we talk about protecting other people. We talk about protecting people who we're in relationships with. We talk about protecting our children. We talk about protecting our family. But who's protecting us?
Who's protecting us?
How are we protecting ourselves? You know what I mean? How are you watching your own back? You know what I mean? What boundaries are you setting for other people in your life so that they respect your boundaries? You know what I mean?
And boundaries are important.
Exactly. How jealously are you
guarding yourself
emotionally, physically, psychologically, sexuologically?
Sexually.
You know?
It's important.
Sexuologically. You know what I mean? How are you protecting yourself in terms of those people who you surround yourself with? You know? How are these people adding to your life? And I feel like in a world where there's so much stress, just generally, we need to be even more jealous about how we protect our well-being.
Yeah, it's true.
You know?
Because,
not everyone has your back.
It's true.
And especially those people who keep reminding you, I got you. I got you.
Do they?
And as soon as you just say, hey, so you do something for me, hey, you know,
100-meter dash,
you know,
in the opposite direction,
you know. And I'm not saying like your friends or family should always have you, because there are points where that person is also going through shit.
Yes,
you know.
Life is
but it's about communicating to them. There's no point saying you've got somebody and you never even do the simplest thing, like literally speaking up for them.
Umeka mali, opportunity metajwa, you don't mention them, or somebody is bad-mouthing them, you don't cover them.
Like you know your friend is an amazing seamstress. You know your spouse is an amazing seamstress. You know that what they do is just out of this world, and you're not championing it. How are you protecting them? Because protecting someone is not just turning up when they've got trouble. It's helping them to avoid that trouble. Yeah,
because I mean, like we said, there's an opportunity that has come up.
Yeah.
You're in a room, you're having a conversation, somebody says, hey, Mazejo, I have an event coming up, and I need an outfit for my crew. Maybe it's a wedding or something.
Exactly.
I have a group that we need outfits
Mimi Night Atieno, Liz Njoroge, uko wapi?
Tag. In fact, here's a number. Unataka na palipo ofisi paliko.
Ndio hiyo.
Link. Kwa sababu, what you've done is, you've kept this person from going broke. Umeongeza coin kwa mfuko yake. Like, at least in the future, they know, wamelainika.
Exactly.
Unaona, at least there's a soft landing for them. Because you're like, well, Sharon dropped her name. Night Atieno. She dropped a name where it mattered. Unaona. So si lazima ikwati ungoje when your person is in trouble.
Exactly.
Or is in a dark place ndo utafute vile
utamtoa. Exactly.
Hata sazile yako poa, endelea kupepeta light yake endelee kushine.
That's it. Because at the end of the day, if somebody is doing a good job and they are in our circle, our job, if we cannot patronize them, if we cannot buy from them, is to make sure the whole world knows they're doing an amazing job. Chick's Haven, Scotch Kitchen,
like
Liz Njoroge, you know,
like
Kenyana, Jackie Mahaga,
good morning,
Caroline Kenyana, you know,
because you want the people who make your life easier.
Yes.
Let them make somebody else's life easier.
Exactly, and make their lives easier by avoiding them from advertising all the time, because people are more likely to buy off a recommendation than off an advert.
Sindio?
Yeah.
Look for one anogada. Akona samosas.
Yeah.
Na samaki.
Anogada. Beyond fish.
Tuko hapa na 30-day challenge lakini anapitanga tu hapo na samosas. Ni sawa Mungu.
So now we've swapped from meat samosas to veg samosas.
To veg samosas.
You know,
things
hizo vitu jo kuna
yani unakula na hata kuna ile guilty ile ati maze.
I never feel guilty about food, by the way. Once I decide to eat it, I eat it. Vimechama imithogo bwana. Ile umekula ndio unakufa nayo.
You can't die with something you've not eaten.
Spoil your name and build the body.
Bas hiyo mwili tutaipanelate baadaye.
Nyingi tilos dendi.
Kula kwanza, I'm sure this weekend people were feasting. Kulikuwa na holiday pale katika, the holiday before the holiday.
Jamhuri Day. I'm telling you, Tamara Wanjiko hapa hivi kuna kaposta ametengeneza. I'm in love. I'm in love.
Mama,
you know.
Good morning.
Hey Tamara Wanjiko, good morning. Naona hapo umejibwaga hapo umesema
tutengeneze basi poster.
Hey, by the way, you guys. Do you know people are still poking each other? Is that function even still available on Facebook?
Hebu tuangalie hapa kama
niliona you've been poked. Sijui kama niliona you've been poked ama niliona mtu amefanya nini. Wait, producer.
Hata mtu alikuwa na poke.
Producer.
It's a lie. Is that function even? Producer is.
Watu bado wanapokiana. Is it even still available?
Why you poking on me? Honestly.
Producer Roy amesema yeye jui kama iko poking. Please tell us in the comment section. Does that thing still exist?
Have you been poked by someone?
I poked you.
Sinilikupoka FB na ukuona.
Mimi nakumbuka poking was in 2000. Ama ilikuwa 2005.
That thing stopped existing.
I don't know.
Hata Zuckerberg.
Nowadays people just slide in the DM and state their business. Anyway, let's talk about protecting our people. Yeah. Yes, AfroFabb, hiyo ilikuwa topic yako. Hebu ingia hapo.
Hii story ya protect your person.
Yeah.
Like we said, si lazima ungoje mse wako kwa noma.
Yes.
Kuna vile unajua sana like when you're in a thing, when you're in a relationship.
Yeah.
Most likely there's a third eye that sees what is happening.
Yes.
Better than you are.
Okay.
Because uko pale umeingia feelings, pull pause, nini haujijui. Like,
yes.
Kuna vile when you're in a relationship and is in the blissful stage bado.
Yeah.
Kuna vile mind yako inakuanga uko kwa shelf na wewe uko huko.
Yes.
So like as the third person, you're seeing that this is actually unhealthy.
Or like you see your friend
yes.
being in an unhealthy environment.
Yeah, your friend, your child, whoever.
Somebody who you care about.
Yes.
Yeah.
Yeah, because you could be seeing, apana, this person is not a person you want to have in your life, because either they're not positive influence for your life, they're not an addition.
Yes.
They're just here to take. It's like a leech.
Yes.
Just sucks life out of you, kabisa.
Yes.
And how do you get into that position? How do you try and tell your person, hey mazejo,
kuna venye unachoma
hapa I west make it,
yeah,
because hapo umeambulia tupu wewe achana hii noma, like just walk away.
Yes.
I know this is your friend, I know you're very fond of this person, you feel some type of way,
yeah,
but no vile mimi naona ai hapana. But
at what point do you draw a line? Because I'm assuming that this person is an adult.
Yes.
Yeah? Na si adult wa 18, ni adult wa huku ma 30 something, ma 40 something.
Somebody.
You know. So like perhaps this is a recurring, it's a cycle.
Yeah.
This person is in a cycle of abuse.
Yeah.
And generally, yes, you can say something, but if this person is not ready for change, if they're not ready, if they you know, like some people, watu wengine wanapenda kukaa kwa hiyo kitu ndio wako na kitu ya kucomplain about.
Complain about, yeah.
You
it's
know,
like a crutch.
Oh, this person is mistreating me. Oh, this person is doing such and such, yeah? But they keep going still for the same type of person.
Yeah.
You know what I mean?
Yeah.
So it's like hapa hivi kuna kuna katashwishi.
There's a problem. There's something that's not being addressed.
Exactly.
There's something that's not being addressed, because how is it that you're always going back into this situation?
Yes.
How are you always finding yourself like you'd miss out on all the good things, or you refuse to pick all the good things, but you just want this one thing that harms you?
Is toxic.
Yeah. No.
But if somebody you care about is in a toxic relationship, I always feel that you can empower them by making their lives easier so that they can see, removing them from that situation rather than talking at them. Because generally when we talk at people, the shutters come down. But if we say, for example, najua best yangu yuko kwa hii kitu na huyu msee ama huyu dem, na I want to show them that there's another life out here. I want to take them out with me. You know, I want to go do stuff with me and them. Like, just remove them and remind them who they are. If this person used to love singing or still loves singing, I'll take them off to karaoke somewhere. They love dancing, I'll take them off dancing somewhere. You know, get them flirting kidogo with other people so that they can see there's life outside here. You know what I mean? So instead of, I feel like sometimes when we talk at people, they kuna kale ka
people become defensive and shut down. Are like, you're back with this story again.
Exactly.
Why?
You know what I mean? So sometimes I feel like instead of talking at them, if you've tried talking, if you've tried interventions, if you've tried all that stuff, then it's time to try a different tact. Go a different route. You know what I mean? Yeah.
Because where? Because even you could find, like, maybe there's a child.
Yes.
There's this friend they've made at school.
Yes.
And suddenly your child comes home with a potty mouth, ama kotuna matabia tu zingine, has become a bully.
Yes.
Unaona? And you have to find a way of how to get them out of that situation. Kwa sababu itakuwa ni na ulikuwa tu mzuri. How comes nowadays you're always kicking everyone and kicking everything? Nini imekuwa? And you see, now that forces you that you have to sit down and look at what has changed. When did it change and what is causing this change? Because utapata kama huyu amechange, ameanza kuhang out na bully. Nini? Because you were nice, you used to talk nicely, you used to, like, you're proper. But suddenly now.
But I also think that sometimes it's, as a parent, I always look at what am I doing to empower my child not to hang out with these people, rather than me just telling them don't hang out with them. Also, another thing I try to find out is that other child's home environment.
How is it?
You know,
like,
because sometimes, and especially in our generation, we were discounted as that's a bad girl, that's a bad boy, because of behaviors that we exhibited, without people actually taking time to think, what is this child
is actually suffering,
experiencing in their life for them to exhibit this behavior. And I'm glad that the world is now starting to look at the child's nucleus. You know, what is it that is in this child's environment? Because sometimes the child is being abused. That's why they're abusing other children. So instead of protecting this child, we discount them. You know, like now we know that there are a lot of learning difficulties, learning disabilities, and like dyslexia, sijui kuna ingine ya numbers, sijui kuna ziko mob. You know, now we know this. So now children are not just being grouped in wewe unaweza, wewe wezi, wale wajinga,
wale wapale kati.
You know,
pale historia middle class ilitoka.
Mimi wacha nikwambie kitu. Kuna subject I was very clever. Na kuna zingine
not happening. Not happening.
Physics, chemistry. Hata fadhali chemistry.
Zilikuwa zinapita.
Mimi kusema kweli, the day they called me into a chemistry lab to do a test on piss, and everyone had been collecting samples from that morning. You are in boarding school. Most people are already dehydrated. But the piss smells like camel piss. And now you all come into a class and pour them into test tubes. Niliambia teacher, no, give me a D now.
I don't want this shit.
I can't.
It's not
I
happening.
promise you, I heaved and I left. Nikasema nichapeni, fanyeni vile mnataka. Now that is the day I stopped doing anything in chemistry because those labs stunk. You know. And I was just like, what is the point of this subject except making me, a teenage girl, nauseous? I couldn't understand it. Mimi nilishuka.
Imagine baka sahi ukiulizwa hiyo lesson ilikusaidia na nini kwa maisha yako?
Exactly. Exactly. You know what I mean?
We should stop drilling. Like stop drilling. And parents again. Hakuna cha usawa ulifunzwa.
Yes.
Sit down. You know for a fact kuna subjects zingine ulikuwa unaloba kuruka.
Yes.
Accept it.
Yes.
Tuanzie hapo.
But
accept it. That will help you to understand your child better because you'll be like, wow, mazejo.
Yeah.
Me literature ilikuwa na hata. I used to hate fasihi. Kiswahili was my worst. Oh my God.
To be fair, as a self-respecting Jaluo,
I'm not required to know any Oswayo. Oswayo is not my
Oswayo is not my mouth.
Hey! Give me French, give me Spanish, give me everything else. Just don't give me Oswayo.
That's it. I think it's important, and this is where we come into this inner voice thing and your inner demons and all these things that we went through as children. They leave marks.
Ugly scars.
They leave a trail.
Yeah.
You know what I mean?
Yeah.
They leave kuna kakitu tu hapa. So
that lingering memory kana shinanga tu hapo.
Exactly.
Zile are like, it's like a constant reminder.
Yes.
Zile are like you go past it but it just goes like ding 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 ding.
That's it. You know? So it's like this. I think to myself, what we have to be very careful. Am I being negative? Am I punishing myself? Yeah. Or am I really listening to my gut that is telling me that there's a pitfall, pale, usianguke?
Exactly.
Do you see?
Yeah.
We have to be very careful that the things that we experience as children, as young adults, we don't carry with us to beat ourselves with as we grow older, you know? Yeah. We all make mistakes.
That's true.
We have to learn how to forgive ourselves.
Yeah.
You know,
that's important.
You know, like they say, forgive 77 times 7 times 7. Yani yo times 7 inakwanga times
it's
infinity.
Continuous, like
it's continuous times 7.
Day.
You know, so every day realize that yes, I've fallen, and everyone does fall. But how can I now say that? And the thing is, you cannot forgive yourself if you haven't asked for forgiveness from the people who you harm. With your behavior.
It's important.
And that's why you
ask
see
forgive yourself, forgive others.
Even in when you go to groups that are support like substance abuse and stuff like this, they have a program that it's a 12-step program. Na inakwambia enda approach watu waambie pole. Yes, there are people in your life wenye uliwafanyia kitu mbaya kitambo wenye right now they don't even remember. Like for me, many people have come to me later, years later, and just gone, hey Sharon, I'm like, hey, and they're like, oh, and I'm like, okay, what's the problem? Why you they're like, oh, I thought you were still holding a grudge. Why? And they tell me what they did. I'm like, oh, guy, ulinifanya hivyo.
You did?
Okay, so wacha ni jam ndio nikuforgive. You know, because I generally have a brain like a sieve when it comes to things that I should be holding grudges on. You know, things hurt you.
Holding grudges is work.
It's energy.
So much emotion.
It's energy.
Just become. It weighs you down unnecessarily.
Yeah. And it gives you that
and if
thing
you start
of
holding grudges on everyone, you'll be dead before you know.
And it gives you that thing of you're dwelling on the bad thing that happened. Rather than thinking, what lessons has this taught me?
Exactly.
You know, something happened to me this weekend. I reached out to a few, because I used to live over the waters.
Over there.
Yeah, and obviously, like with the COVID situation, I left some things just hanging, because like when you move with a plan, you tie the loose ends. Yeah. But when you move thinking that I can go back and sort things out, there are things that are left hanging. And I tried to reach out to a few people. Can you help me sort this out? It didn't work out the way I thought it would work out.
Yes.
And my initial reaction was to be upset with these people. But then again, I thought to myself, these are people with their own lives. These are people who have things happening in their own lives as well. Yes. Yeah. And so I cannot hold people to the same standards as I would hold myself, which would be someone needs help, I'm going to put myself out of my way to go and help them first, So I don't do that so that I can be helped. That's what I had to learn. And that's what adulting teaches you.
Life is happening to everyone. Everyone has their own thing.
Exactly.
So for them to help you, they have to fit you into their program.
Whatever else is happening in and around them. So I had to very quickly adjust and say to myself, well, these people, at some point, they've been there for you. But just right now, they're can't be there for you. So it's not about expecting people to be there for you all the time. It's about knowing that sometimes people will let you down. And I say let you down in quotes because when you feel
at that time when you need it. So
and you can't hold this against them because you have to think to yourself that I don't know what they're going through that made them not come through for me.
Exactly.
Because they've come through for me in the past. And I've come through for them. But I'm sure there are points in their lives where they've needed me and didn't feel like they could tell me. And then felt let down by me. Even though they never told me they needed me.
They thought,
the fact that they can't come to me as a friend
is already
will probably make them feel like, what kind of friend is she to me if I can't go to her with this?
With this,
So your inner voice, we have to be very careful about that inner voice. Because yes, it's what guides us as humans. It's what keeps us safe. But sometimes it's also what holds us back. That self-doubt.
You start holding grudges, you start saying bad things to yourself and about the other person, and before you know it, there's assumptions, there's awkward moments, and you're like, nowadays she doesn't talk to me. Why? Because ABCD.
I'm on a jijazia. Ni siku ile sikumfanyia hiyo kitu. But what you don't realize is, yes, not doing that thing for that person has set them back. But what we have to remember is, everything happens for a reason.
For a reason.
If that person was meant to do that thing for you, they'd have come through.
It could have happened.
But the fact that they didn't do that thing, something else will happen, and something else will happen, and something else will happen. And maybe in the 10th thing happening, you'll realize that, had they come through for me, this would not have happened.
It's true. I've come to learn in life that sometimes, just like you said, things happen for a reason. I've come to appreciate it when something doesn't happen when I want it. I always say it's protected me from something worse. Like you were walking, you tripped and fell. You just grazed your knee. You just fell. I always say, okay, Labda. I would have continued walking. I would have gone crossing the road, and a car would have hit me or something. Like I always say, it could have been worse.
So, I choose to look at it from a positive way. I choose to look at it from an elevation thing. This happened to me. I lost everything. But then in losing everything, I found myself.
Bas, you needed to be naked. For
I needed to burn that old Sharon to build Night Atieno.
It's important. And that's one thing a lot of people are not.
I needed to burn that broken child to build this woman that I am today.
See?
Yes, I cannot forget the messenger.
It's important. Do not.
Because it depends on who the messenger was.
Yes,
sometimes
they had,
you find that family, people in your family, your friends do some really, really messed up stuff to you. Really messed up, you know? But in those messed up moments, in those moments when you're so down, you find that you rise.
Yeah. They needed to put you in that level so that you actually rise.
When I was in my early 20s, I was in an abusive relationship. Yani huo mzee alikuwa ananituanga. Alikuwa ananipiga ya ukweli. And I still used to go back. You know? Because I was in love. Because I couldn't stand being on my own. Because I felt like I knew this person for a very long time because we were childhood friends.
So
we were family friends. So for me, I was far away from home, and this person, this was my sanctuary. And however messed up this sanctuary was, it was still a sanctuary to me. It was familiar.
Home.
You know what I mean?
Like you were home.
Exactly.
And home is a dump.
That's it. This person made me feel closer to home. But this person also, although I can't blame them completely, this person also made worse my suicidal tendencies at the time.
Heightened them.
You know? So it was like they beat me, life was shit, and I tried to kill myself. And this cycle continued.
Like, can it
and then one day, I realized, ikujiua pia si rahisi vile nilikuwa nafikiria.
I tried and it's not happening, so
you know,
I might as well leave it. It's not going anywhere.
Tamara Njiko says the person who hacked her previous account still pokes her. Yani hiyo ni madharau. Utahakaje account ya mtu? Ablock hiyo kutoka kwa hiyo account. Alafu sasa unajirudisha unampoke. Hiyo ni madha.
Hello.
Hiyo ni madha. Tawara, tell us if they still post from that account. Karibu sana Ann Ogada anasema I am present. Anyway, back to this thing of, you know, being in these situations, you know? It's like I had to get to a point where it felt like ikujiua.
I work.
It's
not the answer. So
you know,
let's try.
I'm not succeeding at this dying thing. I'm good at a lot of things. Yani mimi nikijiamua nataka kufanya nitafanya. Lakini hii kifo haikuji. You know, it's not working for me. So I have to make a decision now to start living and find a way of stopping trying to kill myself. You know. But even then, I was still abusing alcohol, which meant that pole tu nilikuwa najaribu kujiua.
You found a different way to try to
pole.
It's not obvious.
Exactly.
Like I'm going to hang myself, I'm going to do this, I'm going to do that. But now you're like,
hapa tu, si ndio?
Ati sip. Sip the whole damn thing.
Quarter it, you know. Anyway, so it's like sometimes we have to deal with our inner child and our scars. Because sometimes, unajua, juzi, nilikuwa kwa nyumba, window ya nje ilikuwa imevunjika na siku realize ziliingia ndani. You see? So, nilitoka kwa bafu mguu tupu, hiyo kitu ikanidunga. Actually, that thing was about that long. I'm not even joking. This thing was long. But if you look at the scar from outside, it's a very small penetration. You see? And it's like life and our inner child. We go through many traumas as children. And a lot of these things people discount as either we can't remember or we shouldn't dwell on. But we are at our most fragile when we are children. So if we are not protected, especially emotionally, you know, because even people who've been abused physically are also abused emotionally. Unaambiwa, wewe ni mtoto aina gani? You're useless. You're stupid. You'll never amount to anything. And to a certain extent, we start believing all these things that we are told about ourselves.
After all, they
as
said
children. Exactly.
After all, they said,
that's it. So you become a self-fulfilling prophecy. Yeah? So if you then believe these things, this becomes your inner narrative.
Yeah.
In the story unashinda ukijiambia. So however much as an adult you try to move past it, we have to all embrace the fact that we are all broken children. All of us.
Make peace with that first. Make peace with that first.
Yes.
Then from there, you can move on.
Deal with
those changes.
Those scars from childhood. Because those scars, they look like little things, but they run deep.
Hapa juu.
Like
literally, you can look at your scars and you remember when you got that scar. And you, like, to some level, you remember how you felt when you, like what you felt. You stepped on a shattered piece of glass, and you know how far it went. Like, literally,
that's it.
The emotions and the whatnot you felt.
Exactly.
So, those scars, it's just a scar. Lakini, you know where it came from. You know where you got stuck, because most of the time we actually get stuck there.
That's it.
Because, I mean, you're there, you were not protected as a child. And you experienced whatever it is that you experienced. You were told you were stupid, you were told you were lazy, you were told you were slow. Then you actually start believing it, and you grow up with it. So you get a job. But I'm lazy. I'm lazy.
No, just sijuangi kuamka mapema.
Sijuangi kuamka mapema.
Kwa sababu wale ambao wewe ni mlezi hata uamkangi mapema.
Exactly.
And the thing is, it's not even what you were told, it's what you saw as well. Because abuse goes beyond what just you were told. What we forget as parents is the template that we are creating in our children. That is becoming their blueprint.
Hiyo ndio wanajua.
If we're abusing substances in front of our children, then that is the template they're seeing. And it doesn't mean that if your parent was an alcoholic, you're also going to be an alcoholic. It just means that you're more likely to become one, because to you it is normal.
That's it.
If your parent was abusive, even if they did not physically abuse you, but they were beating each other, wewe unaonanga, hivi ndio vile nikioa mtu, hivi ndio vile tutakuwa tunadili na shida zetu.
Like, slap somebody, shout, throw something at somebody. Why? Because that is what you saw. Now, utaka hapo, then you start asking yourself, but I'm a peaceful person, I'm a nice person, I'm a this person. But it's not you right now, it's you for the past. No, because you can imagine that looked like it was the solution at the time. And automatically you're like, problem, how to solve.
That's it. I think it's good to normalize seeking help and asking for help.
It doesn't show weakness.
Seeing somebody and speaking out, you know, because again, and I say this, as Africans, we are a storytelling people. When we tell stories, when you tell your story, you don't realize how powerful your story is, what's and all, not just the good bits. Because, you know, yesterday I was thinking about social media. I remember when we were younger, some people kept diaries. And these diaries, some people kept them like a journal every day religiously. But some of us only kept diaries for when significant things happened in our lives.
I was in that drama.
You know what I mean? Something
like, oh my God, today was a brilliant day.
I saw that guy.
Oh my God, I'm crashing on this one.
You know, mama yako alipate. Utachapwa nikoli kwa umeenda kudinyana na wewe msiki. Na hata ujoi kiss.
Mine found it. Hey, my friend. Nini. I love you can imagine. Because I didn't have that relationship with my parents. I couldn't talk to my parents. Because it was that thing. Children are here to be seen. You're a trophy. Mukisha fanyiwa census as leo wageni wamekuja. Oh yeah, back to chambers.
That's it.
So you can imagine, I used to pen out a lot of my emotions. So because you're angry, you can't shout, you can't talk about your feelings, you just can't express yourself. So how do I express myself?
You write it down.
I used to, cause man, I would.
Alafu hiyo diary inaikuwa hapo kwenye ulikuwa na kanini pale ulikuwa umechimbia.
Kuna chini ya kila kitu inaitwa in the middle of, at the back of, at the front of that thing.
mama wetu walikuwa wasororaji.
Inafika mahali unaanza kuitafuta, then you're like, shit, today I feel like this book needs to be, hata wewe mwenyewe hujui kule umeweka, because you hid it so far, because you're imagining if I can't find it, no one else will find it. Also, plus you can imagine how hard a lot of people.
Yes.
Hey, the time my mother found it.
Yeah.
Like you said, you're beaten. I was caned physically. I was caned verbally. Sana verbally. And then when she remembered, she came back to physical. Because she was like, this child. Then sometimes I actually felt like I didn't belong in that house. And because you don't understand, you're like, why am I being treated like this?
Yeah.
Because
Mikoza nikiwatoto nilikuwa nao.
Dare you right?
Niweni tu sasa mnizike kwa sababu nyinyi watu hamnipendi.
Nyinyi mnipendi ni kama mimi si wenye mliniokota pale nje. Kwanza si nakumbuka tukiishi Buru kulikuwa na mahali kulikuwa na hipe takataka. Guys used to throw kids. Watu walikuwa na.
Oh yeah, hata hapa Doni by the way.
No. So I'm like, labda I came in a paper bag and these guys exactly, because you don't understand why am I being treated like this.
Yes.
Why am I a part of this family?
Yes.
Alafu ukiangalia now, for some reason now you look different from everyone else. You're like,
and they remind you that you look different.
My God.
And the more they remind you, the more you see the difference.
Exactly.
And the more you behave differently, because now you're starting to become a self-fulfilling prophecy.
You're like, you know what, I might as well go on and do this because
unajua kisha chapongwa tu vitu za ufala. Unasema tu sasa wacha niende.
Sasa niende nifanye. Zile za like, oh, you said I shouted, let me shout. No, you said I banged doors.
Sasa nichapue kitu nimefanya.
Sasa nichapeni nimebang mlango. Because the thing is that they don't ask why are you banging doors? What happened to you? And I stopped banging doors.
I think for me the biggest thing is with the diary thing. Yeah. We have now social media, and it's a way, I think, for many people, and I talked about this last week, for many people to express what they're feeling. And if we really care about our people and protecting them, we really need to start looking and analyzing people's patterns and really reading between the lines.
Exactly.
You know, this person usually posts motivational stuff. All of a sudden, their posts are negative. It's like, what's going on? You know what I mean? Yeah. We have to then ask ourselves, what's changed? You know? Hapa hivi naona Kadogo Nyawade, that's my auntie from over the seas. Ameweka hapo champagne.
Good morning to you too. We shall pop something.
Sindio, very soon, auntie. Aya. Alafu hapa hivi Tamara Anjiko amesema, and those scars trigger something / patterns that happened before, whether it happened to you or someone you know. And it's so true, because if you think about it, again, I say, we are all children. Those children that we were when that when that trauma happened, until we deal with that child,
that's when
and really put that child down and say, I'm sorry I let that happen to you, but at that point I was you and there's nothing I could do about it. And until you realize that there's nothing you could have done to protect yourself at that point and forgive yourself, you will never forgive those people who did that to you. You know, I went to a school in Meru, Sawasawa Academy. It's now shut. Because this was not a school, it was a concentration camp where we were treated like the enemy. Misi juyo mama alikuwa naokota pesa zetu kwenda kufanya nini nazo, because we were not treated like children. We used to be given the shittest black coffee they could find. Matthew, the youngest child in this school, is 6-7 years old. And I don't understand how parents can do that either. I'm not judging, but I don't understand how you can put your child who is 6-7 years old in a place where you don't even know how well they're being taken care of. It doesn't matter if they have older siblings in the same school. It's not their older siblings' responsibility to take care
of
their siblings. You see, if we have children, we have to protect them.
Yeah.
You know? And this school, like, it was bad. It was bad. Children were being raped. Children were being physically abused by the teachers.
Yeah.
Children were being raped by the teachers, because you cannot have consent with a 13-year-old, a 14-year-old. There is no consent. You're a pedophile. It's really that simple.
Ma'am, Yani.
Oh.
I'm thinking there's a.
Oh, she's saying that was when you talked about abusing alcohol, you know? Oh, sorry. Tutakunywa ile inaitwa nini? Chamdo. Yeah, grape juice. Sparkling grape juice.
Bubbles.
Yes.
It's like sparkling water.
Exactly. I think as parents today, whenever I hear someone saying they want to put their child in a boarding school, I cry.
It goes, because you go back to that place. 6 years old. My son is 7. He's turning 8 next month.
They can't even wash themselves properly.
Yani.
They can't come and tell you if someone is grooming them.
For something.
Be it a teacher or an older child in that school. You cannot put your 6-year-old child in the same school where you have hormonally raging teenagers and expect nothing to happen. Expect them not to be bullied. Expect them not to be probably raped.
Yeah.
Expect them not to have psychological scars that I know a lot of people who I went to the same school with who are not alive today because they've killed themselves. I tried. I didn't succeed. Yeah. I'm glad I didn't succeed, because now I'm in a better place. Yeah. But
you can talk about this.
I implore parents out there that even if this is your last resort and you have to put your child in a boarding school because you haven't got any other choice, or you think you haven't got any other choice, please, please, please do your due diligence. Yeah. Please empower your child before you put them in these places.
Which is most important.
Let them know that when they come to you with whatever they're going through, you will protect them, you will listen to them, and you will take seriously whatever you feel like is allegations they're bringing to you, because there are many, many children dying out here. Juzi, a 9-year-old, killed themselves. 12-year-olds killing themselves. Mi nilijaribu at 14. I think I was 13. Nilikunywa kalpo zote na panadol zote kwa nyumba. I slept for a very long time, but I did not die, you know. So I just remember from the age of 12 trying to kill myself until I was about 24, 25.
And people out here acting surprised.
You know.
At a 9-year-old.
Yes.
It is talking of killing themselves. A 9-year-old hung themselves.
We should ask yourselves, when that happens in your neighborhood, you shouldn't just look at that child's life. You should look at your neighborhood as a whole.
Exactly.
You should look at the school your child is going to. You should look at your parenting. And I tell this story all the time about my son telling me at 8 years old that I needed to go to parenting classes. And had I had a different response, I wouldn't have the same kind of relationship I have with him today. Had I gone full African proud mommy mode, then I wouldn't have the same relationship I have with my son today. You know what I mean? Introduce you to Madam Bakhan, you know. Surfaced. So I think we need to think to ourselves, like, if you feel like the parenting you were given did not work, what can you do differently to leave a legacy of you parenting differently, and therefore teaching and empowering your children to, when their time comes, parenting differently? You know, if you know you were put in an institution and that messed you up and still messes you up today, then it's not...
You don't have to walk the same
Exactly.
path.
We don't have to say, "Simini nilipelekwa boarding na nika survive." Life is not about survival. Life is about living. Life is about being empowered. Life is about being loved. Life is about being protected. Life is about knowing that no matter what, there is somebody in this world who's got your back.
Yeah.
Yes, ultimately that person has to be you. But it's just nice to know that you're walking this life with other people.
Yeah, somebody else who shares the same.
You know.
And you also feel the same about them. Mimi nishawambia kona yangu ni round. My corner is round.
It's a dome.
It's a dome, Nani. Hakuna cha, you cannot hide, and we cannot hide anything.
Yeah.
So, like, literally, anyway, deal with those things. It's important.
Yeah.
That will save you and your child and your grandchildren and oh my God, very many coming generations, because sawa ulipelekwa boarding. Sawa, it worked. Mimi nilikuwa threatened na boarding kutoka class 4. Mimi nilikuwa napenda TV. It's a thing I still have.
But ukiona hiyo TV ndakupeleka boarding.
Wewe unashindaga cause akeswa nilikuwa nashindaga kwa cartoon. Like ask me program lineup, I know it.
Si basi utoe fuse.
Nini. Unajua? Sasa like, cause they're like, how do we disconnect this bloody thing?
Oh, fuse.
So it's like every time, because it's either I'm playing or I'm on the TV. So it's like, because I'm like, there's too many people in this house. None of them interest me, and they're just weird people, and they tell me weird things. So I'm like, let me spend time where I find joy.
Yeah.
There's a radio playing somewhere, I will dance. You have something to say?
Yes.
Nita dance. Nikimaliza hapa naenda nje kucheza. Nikitoka kucheza nimerudi kwa TV. Like you'll be here behind me and I'm sitting here, I'm like,
yeah.
Because I'm like, no, I learned how to block everyone out. Because I do not care. You bring discomfort in my life.
I just used to get lost in my books, to be fair.
No, at least you had books. Because you find that thing that just keeps you in that nice place.
Yeah.
Because you'd find, paende kuna watu wanapenda makasiriko.
Ni kweli.
No, si lazima ujam kwa sababu mtu amekujamisha. Yeye ndiye amejam. Kwa sababu yeye hakudeal na issues zake.
I think people should learn to really, and I encourage people to do this, yeah? Seek some type of therapy.
Yeah.
Seek some type of talk therapy. Go see a counselor. Sana si mwenye atakujudge.
Mtu mwenye kujui sana.
Yes.
Would be
perfect. Yeah. Like go talk to somebody.
We have free places that actually offer free counseling.
Yeah.
Like Amani.
Yes.
You go to the what do you call it? The homes, the rehabs.
Yes.
You'd find free counselors there.
Okay.
So usiogope, like just go sit down with someone, talk, cry,
or form your own group.
Yeah, form your own
seriously.
group. Yeah.
You know, like in London, they have laughter groups in the park. I swear these people just meet in the park and they laugh.
Let it rip
for like half an hour. Then they share their stories and they laugh.
Yeah. And you can imagine, you already laughed, so you guys already easy. And then you're like, aki mazejo jana. Landlord alikuja kaniambia nini nikamwambia mazejo mimi niko na 15, hiyo 5 itakam nini.
Exactly.
Like it makes it less of a burden.
That's it.
It doesn't make it as gruesome.
Yes.
Unaona. But ati hapa ati sijui ati sasa ati umeanza kujiweka ati you're taking yourself too seriously and your problems too seriously. Kwaje usikia jirani wewe uko na 15, yake uko na 150 ama uko na 1.5.
Exactly.
Unaona, like
I'm just going to put the Amani link hapa hivi kwa bottom. So that people have it. I know you've mentioned it.
Yeah.
Just so we don't forget, because sometimes we say, hey, tutaweka link. Alafu siku inaanza kama imeenda.
Siku inaanza kama imeisha.
So for those people seeking therapy, counseling, hapo hivyo tumeweka ka link hapo. Amani Counseling, they offer free counseling services. And if you can afford it, go pay a therapist.
Yes, go pay.
Because usingoje tu ya free. You are free, unajua iko oversubscribed.
Yes.
But if you're in need, let me tell you something. For us as humans, when we break a bone, straight to the hospital.
Immediately.
Tukidungwa na kitu straight. Ukikatwa na kitu straight. Unaenda kudungwa tetanus. But the moment we experience psychological trauma, we sit on it like we have to be strong. No!
It will thaw out, itaisha.
Because we have to remember that psychological trauma sometimes, and in most cases, will bring about physical manifestation. Hapo hivyo ndio ugonjwa za stress zitokea. High blood pressure. Exactly. You start stress eating. So therefore you're starting to get things like diabetes type 2. All these things because we're not running for emotional first aid. Let us normalize running for emotional first aid. If you're experiencing grief that you can't deal with, run. If you go through a breakup that you can't deal with, run, see somebody. Deal with it like a broken arm. And the day we start dealing with our emotions like a broken arm, the day we start thinking that wacha iyo shimo nilianguka wacha nizibe, the day we start filling those holes, the day we start cutting those people out of our lives because ni first aid yangu.
They cut balloons and they just float away. Let them.
This is my emotional first aid.
Deal with it. Asking for help does not show weakness. You care about yourself. Like we said, are you in your own corner? If you can't ask for help, who's going to ask for help for you? Unaona, uliza, protect yourself, take care of yourself, get that emotional first aid. Vile utaenda kuweka plaster kwa mkono, weka plaster kwa hati yako, weka plaster kwa mind yako.
That's it.
Sort it out. You've lost someone. Deal with it. Grieve. Go through whatever you have to go through. If you need to ask for help, go sit with someone. Zile like, maze jo mi nasikia hivi na hivi na hivi. You don't have to be brave. Atika ngumu for who? For what? By the time you're getting stroke there, you're getting some funny diseases over there. You're stress eating.
And especially for parents. Guys, parenting is hard. It's hard. And it's okay to say that I don't know what I'm doing. Because these little people, they don't come with a manual.
Hakuna sikuta wao
na hakuna watoto wawili ni the same.
Unaambiwa madam.
Utaona huyu ndio kuchocha watu. Huyu ndio peacekeeper. Huyu kwa nyumba yetu tuko watoto 4. You see, and we were all parented by the same two parents. Some of us more than others, but still the same household. You know,
and the same kind of the toll it had on
exactly.
These people.
You know,
because they're thinking,
it's not easy.
This one is calm.
I know.
This one is a live wire. No, this one.
Sasa mtu kama Lucas mwenye alikuwa na hepa shule kwa nursery. Anaambiwa lale anakimbia mpaka home.
Oli pale kamtoi shule la
unampata hapa nje akicheza. Hapo anaenda home. Ako kwa mtaa huko nyuma anacheza. So now they're panicking in school. Where is this child?
Where is this child? And you're at home going on with your life.
Mabe anakuja kuchukua mtoi shule anapata mtoi yuko shule. Sasa lazima kwanza arudi mtaa angalika alihepa because Lucas used to be told it's time to sleep. Lucas anasema hakuna mimi siwezi lala. So mimi kila nilikuwa naona hii ilikuwa very simple solution. You know your child is going to go to school from lunchtime to 2 p.m. Ambia tu shule nitakuwa na pick mtoi wangu at 2 o'clock.
Haina haja tu sumbwana.
He is 5 years old. He doesn't need to be in school all day.
You know what I mean? Because normally it's usually like 5 hours in the morning and it's broken down in they have like 3-4 sessions.
Because they're so young.
Akimaliza
aenda kalale kwa nyumba kwani hizi lala kwa bed yake for hiyo siesta.
Alafu na bed kuna wale wenye kabisa this is not
Lucas can't sleep during the day.
Happening.
You know. He couldn't. So, assign a very different song. So Lucas Onyango nimekuanika. So Kadogo Nyawade says, do you have parenting workshops? If not, we should introduce it. If we have, please share. So I have said that we currently don't have, but this is something we've been talking about as well. And it's something that we're very keen on introducing. What we're looking for is a few people who can contribute. Because sisi tu, our view is as it's limited to our experiences. You know what I mean? So the more people we can have sharing, the better. Roy Matenga says, many people think that boarding school teaches you life, while the truth is, it only teaches you survival. Exactly. That you're not ready for yet. 100%. Uo ndio producer wetu ameisema very succinctly.
Black and white.
Yani ameiweka venye iko. Because to be honest with you, boarding school teaches your child suffering and dealing with it without giving them the tools to deal with it adequately. You know the difference? Do shule, whether in day school or in boarding school, your child will experience the same. They will experience dealing with bullies. They will experience dealing with their peers. They will experience negotiating through life, knowing that ule sita kanyaga palipake, huyu nitafanya hivi. They will experience all these things without you being there to guide them and say, like my son, most days he'd come home, we'll do homework. Elma, before homework, I'll be cooking. He'll be telling me about his day. And he'll be telling me, such and such happened. So basically what he was doing is, he's debriefing but asking for my advice. You know?
Mommy.
My point was always, how did you deal with that situation?
How did it make you feel?
Exactly. How did it make you feel? Ama, if it was him telling me another child's story that he was dissatisfied with how it was dealt with, I used to ask him, how would you deal with it? You know, if somebody did that to you, how would you deal with it? Because then, on the daily, you debrief. There's no way you can put your child in a box for 3 months and expect to catch up in 2 weeks.
90 days.
You know, 3 months, 2 weeks. 3 months, 2 weeks. Now, in that 2 weeks, wako nje wanacheza. So, maybe kuna siku, my mom at 18, I don't know what she said to me. And I literally just stood my ground because that's what I was used to. In
you have to stand up for yourself.
You have to stand up for yourself. So you're telling me this, and I have to now stand up for myself. And she literally slapped me. And I remember asking her, do you want the other side?
Because it looks like you're going to do it anyway.
And she said to me, this is not how I brought you up. And I literally opened my mouth and said, but you didn't.
You shipped me off to boarding school.
You did not bring me up.
Those guys did.
You guys paid for me to be brought up. You paid for me to learn. Do you see? And I don't blame my parents for doing it. I know that they did what they felt was the best. So this is not me saying that whether my parents were right or wrong in their decision. They made that decision. It's made me who I am today. You see? However, when we put our children in these institutions, let's remember that we're not bringing them up. We're not effecting any change in our children's lives. What you've done is you've taken your parenting and handed it over. The parents, the teachers now, whereas in a day school, are in loco parentis. You are in loco parentis during holidays. Because the teachers now have to debrief you on what's been going on in your child's life, and in most cases they don't. Ni report from two. Wanakupatia academic report. Nothing else.
Overall, nothing. Behavioral, nothing. Nini akuna ata health.
The only time unaitwa shule ni
exactly.
The only time uliitwa shule ni kama mtoto amefanya kitu mbaya. You know, sisi tulikuwa tunakuwa wagonjwa, tunalazwa hosi.
Bridget.
You know, girls used to be raped in my school, put in hospital, and back into school without their parents knowing.
Alafu utapewa report form. Alafu ukifika home parent wako akushautie, why are you not performing? Did you ask me what changed? Your emotions, everything is a mess. Lakini hapana, inakuwa ni mbona usomi. I'm paying kwa hilo inakuanga kitu nyeusi sema I'm paying so much money. Yeah, you're paying so much money for me to go to school and get raped. I'm getting abused. I'm getting raped by the teachers, by the other students, by lakini you're paying so much money.
What is wrong with you? And if I tell you what is wrong with me, you won't protect me.
Of course.
So what's the point? Course. Why should I speak
Usiseme kitu kama hiyo hapa. You're not allowed to talk about such things.
I think, and this is what we keep saying all the time. And I'm going to go back to this thing of not shooting the messenger and dealing with grief and loss. We have to remember that when that trauma happens, you lose your childhood. At whatever age it happens. And if you're fortunate enough to not have these big traumas happen to you as a child, then you're one of the lucky ones, especially here in Kenya. And we have to lose we have to learn to let go of that child for us to really grow into the adults that we can become. Because until we deal with that, you're always going to be held back by that child. Mimi kwetu sikukuwa nakubalishwa kuongea, so I'm finding it difficult to speak to my partner. Mimi kwetu, I was belittled, so I find it difficult to take compliments. Mimi kwetu nilikuwa na feel ni kama sipendwi, so I find it difficult to accept that somebody can unconditionally love me for who I am. Mimi kwetu. Wewe kwenyu wacha nyuma. Leave it behind you. And if you can't do it by yourself, seek help.
It doesn't show weakness, it just shows you've identified a problem, you're looking for a solution.
Leave this child behind, grieve for the child that was, and grow into the adult you can be to your full potential. That's all I can say. Forgive yourself for not protecting that child, because you were, and in most cases still are, that child.
Because we stop growing when our trauma happens, man. Like you kind of get stuck there. You linger around there because you're thinking, well, like you said, mimi kwetu nilikuwa naambiwa, mimi kwetu. And if you don't deal with it, unfortunately you carry it on to the next generation. So that's how you're parenting your children. That is how you're dealing with your spouse. That is how you're dealing with your work. That's how like literally this is how your life is. Kwa sababu ino template unajua. Unaona, there's no other way you know how to be, because you're like, somebody tells you something and you're like, what do you want? What do you want? Just say what you want to malizane story. Take whatever you have to take and leave, because you don't have to go through the back doors. Just tell me. Exactly. Let's get
to beat about the bush, because I'm not used to being told something nice unless someone wants something from me. You know
about that survival thing. I've remember during the weekend we were watching this guy who was training these guys. And he was beating them.
At the Kilimani where we do our boot camps.
Like that just came to my head, because I'm like, these are the people you're paying to parent your children. Umechukua mtoto wako umeenda umempeleka kwa institution. Haujafanya research, haujaangalia, you've not looked at the history of anything about that school. The teachers who are working there, the staff who are working there already are damaged. Like we said, we are all broken.
That's it.
Nona. Wako vile wako. You've picked your child, you've dumped your child. Maybe there's like 6 or 7 of them who are like that guy we saw. Nona. And those are the people you expect to help you parent when you're not there.
Imagine there is, and also think about it this way, also just from a parenting point of view, think about it that even when you've got 2 children only to deal with, it's hard. Now imagine you've taken your child and put them in an institution where they have probably 10 teachers to 400 students.
And for one teacher, there's at least 20.
40.
Class
40. 1 is to 40. So now you want these people to attend to each and every need of your child when wewe mwenyewe umeshindwa kuparent wawili.
Ukiwa na shida enda tuulize mwalimu.
Wawili.
Imagine wewe watoto wote 40 wameambiwa hivyo. Ukiwa na shida enda uulize mwalimu.
Exactly. So imagine this teacher also has their own things going on. Teachers are generally, I'm not saying all of them, generally low paid. So already wako na frustrations that they can't meet their bills, they can't nini. Hao wenyewe wako na watoto wao na bwana zao na whatever else, maybe mama yake ni mgonjwa, baba. Yani they have their own lives. And now you're giving this one person 40 children to parent.
And parents
Parents who take their children to boarding school. Just imagine your child has no parenting. They might as well be orphaned the moment you decide to put them in that school. Because there is no guidance, there is only tuition.
Drilling.
Hata kama hiyo shule iko na guidance counselor, tuseme the average school has 400 to 500 people, one guidance counselor.
Ako on. Kutoka Monday mpaka Monday.
You know what I mean?
Anaishi kwa shule.
Yeah.
So yeah, ako duty.
Exactly.
All through the term.
Yeah. So when I am a big advocate for not institutionalizing children. Big, massive advocate. Children should only be institutionalized when it's very, very, very necessary. Even where a parent dies, we should always look to home the children within the family setting if possible. And most courts will try and do this before they ever put a child in an orphanage. They will look for a relative who can take this child, because they know the importance of nurturing children as opposed to rearing children. There is bringing up children and dragging up children. So, but before we are hard on ourselves, because today is about self, before we are hard on ourselves, let us think about how wounded our inner child is, and what we can do to alleviate the pain that child lives with every day. The things that they need to shed to let them grow into their full potential. Let us enable our inner child to recover, to deal with the losses, to deal with the scars. Because if we don't do that, if we're not going to deal with this inner child, then let us embrace this broken adult. Let us learn to live with this adult in a kind of way, to tell ourselves kind of things, until the day we will be willing and ready to deal with that inner child. Night Atieno! Ameshuka.
Yeah, people, you've had it. It's very easy. It's very easy. Tuliwauliza, who's in your corner? Are you in your own corner?
Yeah.
Are you in your own corner? You need to be.
Are you your biggest champion?
You need to be your biggest champion, your biggest cheerleader. Like, yo, umeamka. Sawa, so tunadu. Panga, fanya.
Kwa Night Atieno, enda kwa kioo hivi ujicheki unasema, yeah.
Maze unaweza.
Achik. Leo kama mimi singekuwa wewe, ningekukatia.
Unajua, it's important. It is really, really important. It starts with you.
Yeah.
Once you do it to yourself, it is so easy to show someone else how to treat you.
That's it.
Appreciate yourself. Then another person will know how to appreciate you.
Yeah.
Because even when you're being appreciated, you'll be like, oh, you made an effort.
Yeah.
And this was I had to write down. You have to forgive yourself. Whatever it is that happened, or whatever it is that was done to you, whatever it is that you let happen, vile unafikiria you let it happen, ilikuwa tu kuhappen, but whatever it is that is holding you back, get out of the past. Start living in the now. It's not easy, but it's not impossible. Forgive yourself. Forgive yourself. Forgive those people. And yes, forgive yourself for not being there for that inner child. Kwa sababu, that's the thing that's holding you back. Nona. And it's really important. Deal with your past. For you to get past it. Honestly. Deal na zile za like, okay, sawa. Nilifanya. I would have done better. Ama, what have I learned from that situation? Unaona, you don't have to dwell at, oh, mazejo jana. Ikifika another month, you're like, hey, mazejo last month, nini. Before you know it, you're like, 25 years ago, I did. You don't want to drag that. You're wasting so much time. You're holding grudges for what? Unaona, kama mlikoseana na mtu sameheaneni. Penda mtu kutoka huko mbali huko. Like, my friend, you love them, but from afar. Si lazima akwekwa space yako. No, because there are those people we have in our lives that we can't really cut out of our lives. Lakini umemkata, unaona tu baluni yake kifloat pale kwa kona. Zile za uko poa. Cheers. Endelea, mimi nimeenda hivi. At least I'm far away from you, but I know you're there and you know I'm here. So it's all right. Naona, alafu again, going back to those people, saa zingine hawajui, and they're just a messenger.
Yeah.
Get the message.
Yeah.
Don't shoot the messenger. Wacha kuchukia huyo msee. Huyo msee nika huyo mwizi huyo mwenye alikuwa ametumwa akuibie. Alikuwa na kuibia hiyo bag ndio usiweze kupanda hiyo matri, ndio usiende tao cause maybe ungeenda tao something else. Hiyo deal yenyewe ulikuwa unanea ike happen ama haikuwa happen leo. Hii ya leo iko inaweza labda ya kesho itakuwa better. Unaona? So get the message. Don't hold grudges and start wasting emotions on unnecessary things.
100%.
No.
100%.
And again, have your back.
Back yourself up. Back yourself up. Yani kwa ule unajiamini.
Yani jealously nani. Yani
unajiamini mpaka. Unasema kitu mbaya juu yako. Unamcheki tu zile za whatever. You know,
that's you. That's
exactly.
Like by the way,
you can't believe the negativity people say about you if you don't believe the negativity you say to yourself.
Exactly.
If you don't say that negative stuff to yourself, si tushuke nani? Si tushuke hii matri, tushafika ndio.
Unajua?
Tushuke wewe, nakwambia wewe tushuke.
Wewe na siku njema, be kind to yourself.
Thank you so much for joining us, guys. And again, don't forget we're here again on Wednesday with money manenos.
Your relationship with your wallet.
That's it, you know.
Yeah.
And again, support our sponsors, Hapa Hivi, Elixir, Don Home. If you or Kilimani Primary School, we're Hapa Hivi tuko Monday, Wednesday, Friday.
Wednesday na Friday saa 10 na isho.
6 in the AM and 6:30 in the AM. Yes. So wewe kama unaona unatoka unaamkanga mapema on the job, kuja ya 6 tuanze kazi. And if you have a group of you who want to train at 5:30, we are here also. You know? Yeah. So literally, guys, let us take care of ourselves and remember that mental health is not just about seeing somebody. Sometimes we need to be physical as well. We need to be intentional about our healing. Yep. So I leave you with self-love, self-care, and jipende tu yani. Jipende mpaka watu wasikie au uivu juu ya hiyo relationship uko nayo with yourself. Guys,
don't you think?
Thank you so much for joining us, and we have a message from one of our sponsors, Beyond Fish. Soon to be on Glovo. Utakuwa tu na order, inakuja wapi?
Chap
kwa nyumba
tukikula samosa hapa rinda.
Hiyo holiday season hapa. Ngojeni Beyond Fish. Anyway guys, have a good day, and see you on Wednesday again at 8 a.m. Friday again, Makasiriko Furahi Day. A little bit less constructive, but very very entertaining.
We package the message differently.
Evil. And anyway, thank you for joining us, and have a good day. Bye.
Love you.